From the failed launch of the Apple Vision Pro, the extremely slow rollout of Apple Intelligence that lacks any intelligence, and negative court rulings, Apple has been on a massive losing streak the past couple of years. We'll have more on that coming up. You're watching the first ever episode of the Bit Report for May 30th, 2025. Before we get to our big story, let's do some quick news bits that happened this week in the world of tech. Tesla is set to launch its robotaxi service in Austin, Texas in June, but city officials are still awaiting important information regarding safety protocols. Informatica, the cloud data management firm, has just been acquired by Salesforce in an $8 billion equity deal. The browser company, who makes one of the more unique browsers called Arc, which we've talked about on our channel before, is focusing its attentions these days on a new AI-powered browser they call Dia. In a related story, the browser company announced that it's considering a sale of its Arc browser or making it open source. I think open source would be the good way to go. And finally, Google announced that in addition to Google Gemini Assistant, Android Auto will soon have the ability to support video apps and web browsers. Now for our big story. Since 1997, when Microsoft bailed out a nearly bankrupt Apple with a $150 million investment in the company, they've been on a roll. First with the iPod, then the iPhone, iPad, etc. Yes, I know it's hard to believe that the evil, greedy Bill Gates and Microsoft saved Apple. All of those new product launches were under the visionary leadership of Steve Jobs, who sadly passed in 2011. One could argue that the only successful new products launch under the leadership of Tim Cook, is the Apple Watch in 2015 and the Apple AirPods, which were first released in 2016. Other than that, since Jobs' passing, no one would call any of their new product launches a huge success. I would even make the case, according to the latest data for April of 2025 from StatCounter for operating system market share, because Apple only sells a small number of desktop and laptop computers, that without their iPhones and iPads to sell other services and accessories, Apple would nearly be in the same financial situation they were in back in 1997. Some of their product failures, making people lose interest in Apple, include the HomePod smart speakers. While they are great sounding speakers, the underlying problem is the voice assistant Siri, which seems to be getting dumber each and every year. It's been rumored that Apple is working on an all-new product called HomePad. It will have a 7-inch display with support for Apple Intelligence. According to Mark Gurman at Bloomberg, it was supposed to launch this spring. With numerous issues, it may eventually launch later this year. It should be very similar to the Amazon Echo Show 10, but knowing Apple, it'll probably cost at least twice as much. People suspect that Apple's failed AI push is the real reason for the delay. Then there's the Apple Vision Pro, which is a virtual reality and augmented reality headset. This unnecessary product launch in its current state should have never been released, especially with a crazy starting price point of around $3,500. But if you want one, pre-owned Vision Pros recently have been selling on eBay for as low as $1,600. But quite honestly, don't waste your money. Then there's Apple Intelligence, which was announced in October of 2024. Shortly afterwards, there were commercials where it oversold many of its AI features trying to sell new iPhones. Because of this, Apple has been slapped with a federal lawsuit for false advertising in the promotion of Apple Intelligence. For example, Enhanced Siri, with AI built in, was stated for release in the spring of 2025. Now it could be near the beginning of 2026 at the earliest. Speaking of lawsuits, there's the antitrust lawsuit brought by Epic Games, the makers of Fortnite. In short, the judge in the case said Apple failed to comply with their prior injunction order for Apple to not interfere with competition with regards to app downloads and payment methods in Apple's App Store. The judge has since referred Apple to federal prosecutors for a criminal contempt investigation. But on the positive side, for fans of Fortnite, for the first time in nearly 5 years, it's back in the App Store. The key takeaway from this is the fact that Apple has lost some of its luster. They can get it back with smart, forward-thinking decisions instead of always trying to catch up. While they've always had a not being first to market philosophy, that playbook may not work anymore. Even though they've dropped from first to third in overall market cap, they're still doing all right with a near $3 trillion market cap. Even with all these missteps, how long can this success last? Only time will tell. Thanks to all of you for watching our first episode of our new show, The Bit Report. If you enjoyed it, give it a thumbs up and share it with others. Do let us know in the comments what you think of this video and your opinions of Apple these days. Make sure to subscribe and click the bell to get notified of new episodes of The Bit Report and other tech-related stuff.